Hello, it is Balanced Appetite back again with another video, and today we are continuing on with the previous steak video. I think it was a few months ago, and I think at some point near the end I talked about the Maillard reaction, and I thought that I should talk more about this reaction as a whole since there is a lot about it. So the Maillard reaction is just basically a chemical reaction in like a summary form, I guess. A chemical reaction that occurs between amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, and reducing sugars that when exposed to heat creates that rich brown flavor. And this reaction is responsible for the browning flavor and aroma development in many cooked foods, including steaks, like here. So there are many parts of the Maillard reaction, and to start off with, let's go with temperature. So the temperature, Maillard reaction typically occurs between 140 degrees Celsius and 165 degrees Celsius. But if you're an American, it's like 285 degrees Fahrenheit to 330 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty decently hot, I'd say. When you cook a steak, the surface temperature rises quickly due to direct contact with the hot cooking surface, like a grill or a pan, and as seen in Gabe Lessig's law, which states that pressure is directly proportional to temperature, or in this case, the higher the temperature, the more the molecules move within the meat, and they move faster and faster, and hence just collide faster, and thus when they collide faster, they break apart more and then create new molecules. These molecules then aid in creating different characteristic colors, flavors, and textures, and the rapid increase in temperature initiates the Maillard reaction on the surface of the steak. And as you can see in this image, as you can see, it's outlined here. Basically, at 100 degrees Celsius, the longer you cook it, the more the steak is being absorbed and more collisions are happening as a result. Next, let's talk about the amino acids. The amino acids are the proteins present in the steak containing various amino acids, such as lysine and cysteine, which are really crucial for the Maillard reaction to take place. And these amino acids react with the sugars present in the steak, forming a complex mixture of compounds that contribute to the flavor and aroma. So now I'm not going to really explain this entire process, A, because it's going to be pretty boring, and B, that's not what the purpose of this video is. It's more talking about being more aware of the Maillard reaction rather than understanding to a deeper level of what this entire process even means. So yeah. 3. Let's talk about the reducing sugars. So while meat itself doesn't contain a significant amount of sugars, some sugars may be present due to the marinades, rubs, or natural glycogen in the muscle tissues. Or these sugars can participate in the Maillard reaction, providing the necessary carbonyl groups for reactions with amino acids. Carbonyl groups is just basically a carbon double bonded to an oxygen. There's also its flavor and aroma, where as the Maillard reaction progresses, it produces a wide range of flavorful compounds, including furands, pyrazines, and diols, which all aid in making a steak taste good. These compounds contribute to the characteristic flavor and aroma of a well-cooked steak, often described as savory, roasted, or caramelized. And 5, we have surface browning, which is responsible, the Maillard reaction is responsible for the attractive brown color in the surface of the steak. As you can see right here, as compared to the raw, I guess reddish, whitish steak, you have here a brown, delectable steak that you would very well eat. And this adds visual appeal, and is often considered an indicator of flavor development in cooking. Because if you have a super dark color in the steak, you would assume that's pretty well done. I guess the mass majority does not like a well done steak. But if you have this well-rounded mixture of brown, black, and I guess a light, somewhat yellowish color, you would assume that this is a pretty good medium rare kind of steak, and that's typically what people like the most. However, as you see in this image here, we see a rather drab, undeveloped top of the steak, not only indicating the steak is underdone, but it will also likely be giving a flat thumbs down when given to a person. I, for one, would not like this kind of steak. As you can see, it looks unappealing. No common sense person would really enjoy a steak full of, I guess, like a lightish brown color all around the steak. It just shows the steak hasn't been fully cooked, and it's just not that great to eat. Along with flavor and color changes, the Maillard reaction also influences the texture of the steak as proteins undergo chemical changes during cooking, where they become more tender during the breakdown of collagen, which is just really tight biological tissues and other connective tissues, and also it's denaturing the proteins. Basically, instead of having like a uniform pattern, they're just scrambled, I guess you could say. 7, we have control and optimization. Chefs often manipulate cooking methods, temperature, and timing to control the extent of the Maillard reaction. For example, searing a steak at high heat or a short period promotes rapid browning without overcooking the interior, resulting in a flavorful crust while maintaining a desired level of doneness. This is really clear. As you can see, like in the middle, it's just a great pink color. On the outside, you have a charred crust. This is the ideal steak to have, a sort of polar opposites between one being over and one being just right. However, despite its tenderness and effectiveness, there are some downsides to this reaction. One significant downside to this reaction is the formation of potentially harmful compounds. As the reaction progresses, hundreds of different compounds are formed, including heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or HCAs and PAHs. These compounds have been linked to adverse health effects, including an increased risk of cancer when consumed in large quantities. HCAs and PAHs are formed particularly when cooking meat at high temperatures, such as grilling or frying, which has become a concern for individuals who frequently consume charred or well-done meats. That's why you shouldn't while protein is good, you shouldn't eat these on like a daily basis, like 24/7 kind. It's not a good thing for you. Another downside of the Maillard reaction is its contribution to the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs. AGEs are compounds formed when sugars react with proteins or lipids without the involvement of enzymes. And these compounds accumulate in the body over time and have been associated with various chronic diseases, including diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and Alzheimer's disease. Foods that undergo extensive browning or caramelization in general, such as grilled meats and heavily toasted bread, tend to contain higher levels of AGEs. And as you can see in this image right here, AGEs can lead to a lot of stuff, including male infertility, female infertility, testicular dysfunction, hormone disorder, diabetes, like I said before, or even cancer in general. This is not good stuff for you. Additionally, the Maillard reaction can lead to the degradation of certain nutrients in foods. For example, the browning of bread crust during baking results in the loss of some vitamins and minerals. Similarly, the higher temperatures used in roasting or frying can cause a breakdown of heat-sensitive vitamins like vitamin C. While cooking food is necessary to make it palatable and safe to eat, excessive cooking or cooking at a very high temperatures can diminish its nutritional value. Hence why some people eat more than one steaks. If you have like extensive, obsessive bodybuilders, they eat more than one steak because of the loss of nutritional value, and they need to eat more to make up for it. So, in some way, while the Maillard reaction enhances the flavor, color, and aroma of cooked foods, it does have its downsides, including the formation of potentially harmful compounds like HCAs, PAHs, and AGEs, as well as the degradation of certain nutrients. Moderation in cooking methods and temperature can help mitigate some of these risks, allowing individuals to enjoy the benefits of the Maillard reaction while minimizing its negative effects on health. And I took it upon myself to make a video of me making a steak. I chose a rib cap to make a steak, not the standard steak you would typically see, but I'm here to note about some mistakes I've did and some things I've noticed while I was making the steak. It is highly sped up though, so you won't be able to fully see the mistakes, because I do need to make this video within reasonable lengths. So it's not clearly seen here, but the pan is not, I instantly put the steak on when I just turned on the pan to high heat. So it took actually a decent amount of time to start cooking and start the chemical reactions. That wasn't really a great play on my part. I should have waited till the pan was hot enough and then put the steak on for it to have an instant loud searing sound. Because when I first put it on, I didn't hear anything. It was only after like a few minutes or so that I started hearing like some actual cooking happening. And it should also be duly noted that the steak here wasn't frozen, but definitely cold. So this does change a lot of stuff, and you will see later on it does change. It makes the cooking process a lot more difficult. I guess you could say that as well. So another detail you should probably be aware of is I took a really long time to flip over the steaks. The original video is like 6, 7, 8 minutes. I think it was around there. I think like half of that is just on searing on one side. Don't do that. That was a really bad idea, because then you're getting an uneven sear, and when you have an uneven sear, that means that cook in like the sear in the cook in the middle isn't really even out or spread out, and so by doing this you won't really know for sure if it's a good medium or just a bad rare or a bad well done. Mistake I had to learn from tragically while I was eating this. Yeah, so from there I didn't take a full video of me cooking the steak, but at some point near the end right here, I did add butter to it, and I did, poured butter over the steak, everything. I saw a YouTube video. This adds to the flavor, adds more fat to it, adds more aroma, texture to it, and basically adds the process. But it also decreases its nutritional value by doing this, as I said previously. But I was here for a good steak, so I did it regardless. I hope that didn't really matter. So I did this repeatedly. I seared the sides, I seared everything, and to me it looked pretty good. There was a good sear on the outside, I didn't see a lot of like light brownish things on top. I thought it was pretty good, personally. But then apparently later on, when I opened the steak, I forgot to take a picture of it. I should have taken a picture of it. A mistake I'll learn later. But basically what happened is the steak ended up rare. And when the steak ended up rare, I had to recook it and everything. It was pretty bad. Let me see if I can do this. So when I had to end up cooking it later, it ended up like this. And this is a pretty good steak. I had to cook it more. It did end up pretty good still. I could really taste like the butter enhancing the flavor and everything. But I had to cook it to a medium like this for a bit longer. And I think this is probably due to the fact that my steak was indeed cold at the start, so the amount of cooking time was definitely a bit longer than necessary. So it's a mistake I'll learn from. Cook at normal temperature to have a normal cooking speed, because if you cook at colder temperatures, it's going to take longer to cook. And that does follow chemistry laws, where molecules start moving faster and faster, rather than molecules already moving pretty decently fast at room temperature. But yeah, this is my take on making a steak and about the Maillard reaction. I hope you learned from it. I know I learned from this too. And yeah, peace.